Welcome to the English Practice Podcast. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Sophie. Today we're starting a brand new series on how to improve your English speaking skills.
Speaking English confidently and clearly is a goal for many learners.
It's one of the most important skills because speaking helps you communicate in real life.
In this series, we'll share practical tips, exercises, and strategies to help you speak better.
We'll cover everything from building confidence to improving pronunciation and vocabulary.
Whether you're a beginner or more advanced, this series is for you.
Get ready to practice speaking every day and see your skills improve.
Let's get started and help you speak English with confidence.
Part 1, Introduction and Foundations for Improving English Speaking Skills.
Hi, Sophie. Today we're starting an important topic for English learners: how to improve your speaking skills.
Hi, Ryan. Speaking is definitely one of the hardest skills for me. I get nervous and sometimes freeze.
You're not alone. Speaking can be scary, but with practice and the right strategies, anyone can improve.
That's encouraging. So where should learners start?
The foundation is confidence. You need to believe that you can speak English even if you make mistakes.
But how do I build confidence?
Start by speaking regularly, even if it's just talking to yourself or reading aloud.
I sometimes narrate what I'm doing in English. Does that help?
Absolutely. Talking to yourself gets you used to forming sentences and using vocabulary.
What about practicing with others?
Practicing with native speakers or other learners is very helpful. Real conversations improve fluency.
I use language exchange apps to find speaking partners.
Great. Also listen carefully to how native speakers speak. Notice their pronunciation, intonation, and rhythm.
I like watching videos and repeating what I hear to practice pronunciation.
That's called shadowing. It's a powerful technique to improve fluency and natural speech patterns.
How often should I practice speaking?
Daily practice, even 10 to 20 minutes, makes a huge difference over time.
I'll try to speak English every day, even if it's just a little.
Another tip is to learn useful phrases and expressions instead of only single words.
Using phrases helps me speak more naturally and confidently.
Don't worry about perfect grammar when speaking. Focus on communicating your ideas clearly.
I tend to overthink grammar and get stuck.
It's normal, but fluency comes from speaking more and worrying less about mistakes.
What about pronunciation difficulties?
Practice sounds you find difficult by listening and repeating often. Recording yourself helps too.
I'll record my voice and compare it to native speakers.
Joining speaking clubs or groups can also boost your confidence and provide feedback.
That sounds fun and supportive.
Remember, consistency is key. The more you practice, the easier it becomes.
I'm ready to practice every day and improve step by step.
Thanks for the tips, Ryan. I feel more confident about speaking now.
You're welcome, Sophie. Next time, we'll discuss specific exercises to boost speaking skills.
Looking forward to it. See you next time.
Bye, everyone. Keep speaking and practicing.
Part 2, Practical Exercises to Improve Speaking Skills.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today we're going to talk about practical exercises to improve your English speaking skills.
Hi, Ryan. I'm excited to learn some specific ways to practice speaking.
Great. One effective exercise is speaking aloud every day. Describe your day, your plans, or your thoughts.
I do that sometimes, but I want to make it more structured.
Try setting a timer for 5 to 10 minutes and speak continuously about a topic without stopping.
That sounds challenging, but helpful for fluency.
Exactly. It trains your brain to think in English and keeps you from translating in your head.
I'll pick topics like hobbies, daily routine, or news stories.
Another exercise is to practice with flashcards that have questions or conversation starters.
I can ask myself questions like, what did you do yesterday? Or describe your favorite food.
That's perfect. Try answering out loud as fully as you can.
I like that because it forces me to think and speak more naturally.
Recording yourself is also very helpful. You can listen later to notice mistakes and areas for improvement.
I'm a bit nervous about listening to my voice, but I know it's necessary.
It's normal to feel nervous, but recording helps you track progress and get comfortable with your own voice.
I'll try recording short answers and conversations regularly.
Role playing is another fun and effective exercise. Practice situations like ordering food, asking for directions, or making small talk.
I can do role plays alone or with a partner or tutor.
That's right. It prepares you for real life conversations and builds confidence.
I want to try role playing with my language exchange partner.
Shadowing is also powerful. Listen to a native speaker and repeat immediately after them, matching their speed and intonation.
I've heard shadowing helps with pronunciation and natural rhythm.
Exactly. Start with short clips or sentences and gradually increase length.
I'll find podcasts or videos to practice shadowing daily.
Practice tongue twisters too. They improve your pronunciation and mouth muscles.
I know some like she sells seashells by the seashore.
Yes. Tongue twisters are fun and challenging. Try practicing a few each day.
I'll add them to my daily routine.
Another tip is to learn and practice useful phrases and expressions, not just individual words.
Using phrases makes my speaking sound more natural.
Try to use new phrases in your daily practice or conversations to make them stick.
I'll focus on practical phrases for everyday situations.
Remember, speaking confidently is more important than being perfect. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
I'm working on reducing my fear of making mistakes.
The more you speak, the more comfortable you become. Keep practicing.
Thanks, Ryan. These exercises will help me improve faster.
You're welcome, Sophie. Next time, we'll talk about improving pronunciation and accent.
Can't wait. See you soon.
Part 3. Improving Pronunciation and Accent.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today, we're focusing on how to improve your pronunciation and reduce your accent.
Hi, Ryan. Pronunciation is something I struggle with a lot. I want to sound clearer.
That's very common. Good pronunciation helps you be understood and boost your confidence.
Where should I start to improve my pronunciation?
First, listen carefully to native speakers and imitate their sounds, rhythm, and intonation.
I watch videos and try to copy how they speak. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. This is called shadowing. It's one of the best ways to train your mouth and ear.
I find it tricky to match their speed and tone.
Start slow. Repeat short sentences and gradually increase your speed.
That makes it less overwhelming. I'll try starting with slow clips.
Focus on individual sounds that are difficult for you, like th, r, or vowel sounds.
The th sound is really hard for me. Any tips?
Practice by placing your tongue between your teeth and blowing air gently. Repeat words like think and this.
I'll practice those daily.
Use minimal pairs too. Words that sound similar but have different sounds like ship and sheep.
That helps me hear and make subtle differences.
Record yourself saying these words and compare to native speakers.
Listening to my recordings helps me notice mistakes.
Intonation and stress are also important. English is a stress-timed language, which means some syllables are stronger.
I struggle with stressing the right words in sentences.
Listen to how native speakers emphasize certain words to change meaning or emotion.
I'll practice stressing different words to sound more natural.
Tongue twisters are fun and useful for improving pronunciation and agility.
Like, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Exactly. Practice a few tongue twisters daily to improve mouth flexibility.
I'll add them to my daily routine.
Don't be afraid to exaggerate sounds at first to train your muscles.
That's interesting. I'll try exaggerating difficult sounds during practice.
Watching videos that show mouth movements helps a lot too.
I use YouTube channels like Rachel's English for that.
Try to practice speaking slowly and clearly at first, then gradually increase speed.
Slow speaking helps me focus on pronunciation details.
Accent reduction takes time, but improving clarity is the main goal.
I want to be clear and understood, even if I keep my native accent.
That's a great mindset. Clear communication matters more than having a perfect accent.
Thanks, Ryan. These tips give me a clear plan to improve pronunciation.
You're welcome, Sophie. Next time, we'll focus on building vocabulary to speak more fluently.
Looking forward to it. See you next time.
Part 4, Building Vocabulary for Fluency.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today we're going to focus on building vocabulary to help you speak more fluently.
Hi, Ryan. I know vocabulary is really important, but sometimes it's hard to remember new words.
You're right. The more words and phrases you know, the easier it is to express your thoughts naturally.
What are some effective ways to learn and remember vocabulary?
First, learn vocabulary in context, not just isolated words. Phrases and collocations help you use words correctly.
Can you give an example?
Sure, instead of just learning make, learn make a decision, make a mistake, or make an effort.
That makes speaking more natural and less robotic.
Exactly. Also, use new words in sentences or conversations to reinforce them.
I'll try writing sentences with new words and using them when I speak.
Use flashcards and spaced repetition apps like Anki to review vocabulary regularly.
I use flashcards, but sometimes I forget to review consistently.
Set daily or weekly vocabulary goals like learning 5 to 10 new words each day.
That sounds manageable. I'll set small goals to keep myself motivated.
Try to learn vocabulary related to your daily life and interests to make it more relevant.
I'm interested in travel and food, so I'll focus on those topics.
Reading books, articles, and watching videos on topics you enjoy helps too.
I like reading short stories and watching cooking shows in English.
When you hear new words while listening, write them down and study them later.
That's a great way to combine listening and vocabulary learning.
Practice speaking those new words aloud to improve pronunciation and memory.
Saying words out loud helps me remember better.
Use synonyms and related words to expand your vocabulary and avoid repetition.
I want to learn different ways to say common words.
Learning phrasal verbs and idioms is also important for natural speaking.
Those are tricky, but make conversations more fluent.
Try to use idioms and phrasal verbs in your daily practice to become comfortable with them.
I'll practice a few idioms each week.
Don't worry about knowing every word. Focus on the most common and useful vocabulary first.
That's less overwhelming and more practical.
Grouping words into themes or categories helps with memorization.
Like grouping words about travel, food, or emotions.
Yes, that makes it easier to recall related vocabulary during conversation.
Thanks, Ryan. I feel more confident about building my vocabulary now.
You're welcome, Sophie. Next time, we'll discuss how to practice speaking confidently in real situations.
Can't wait. See you next time.
Part 5, Speaking Confidently in Real-Life Situations.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today, we're going to talk about how to speak confidently in real-life situations.
Hi, Ryan. I often feel nervous speaking English outside practice.
That's very common. Confidence grows with experience, so the more you practice real conversations, the easier it gets.
But what if I make mistakes or people don't understand me?
Making mistakes is natural and part of learning. Most people appreciate your effort and will help you.
That's reassuring. How can I start practicing real conversations?
Start small. Talk to friends, classmates, or colleagues in English whenever possible.
I try greeting and chatting with my coworkers in English, but I get shy sometimes.
That's a great start. Also, prepare common phrases and questions for situations you often face.
Like ordering food or asking for directions.
Exactly. Preparing gives you confidence and helps conversations flow smoothly.
I'll make a list of useful phrases for different situations.
Role playing with a language partner or tutor is another great way to practice.
We can pretend to be in a restaurant or at the airport, right?
Yes, role playing prepares you for real situations and reduces anxiety.
What about speaking on the phone or online calls?
Practice speaking on the phone with friends or tutors regularly. Start with short calls and build up.
Phone calls are hard because you can't see facial expressions.
That's true. Listening carefully and speaking clearly help a lot.
I'll practice listening for keywords and speaking slowly.
Use body language and facial expressions in face to face conversations to support your message.
I notice native speakers use gestures a lot. I'll try that too.
Don't be afraid to ask for clarification if you don't understand.
That's hard for me, but I know it's important.
Asking questions like, "Can you please repeat that?" or "What does that mean?" is normal.
I'll practice polite ways to ask for help during conversations.
Try to relax and enjoy conversations. Mistakes happen, and that's okay.
I want to focus more on communication and less on perfection.
Join speaking clubs or conversation groups in your area or online.
Meeting other learners and native speakers will help me practice regularly.
Remember, confidence builds gradually. Celebrate small successes and keep practicing.
Thanks, Ryan. I feel ready to start speaking more confidently.
You're welcome, Sophie. Next time, we'll cover tips to overcome common speaking challenges.
Looking forward to it. See you then.
Part 6: Overcoming Common Speaking Challenges.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today, we're discussing common challenges in speaking English and how to overcome them.
Hi, Ryan. Speaking can be really tough sometimes. I often get nervous and lose my words.
That's a common challenge. Nervousness can slow your thinking and speaking.
How can I stay calm during conversations?
Preparation helps. Practice common topics and phrases beforehand to boost confidence.
I'll prepare some phrases for greetings, introductions, and everyday questions.
Breathing exercises before speaking can reduce anxiety too.
I didn't know that. I'll try deep breathing before conversations.
Another issue is the fear of making mistakes. Many learners worry about being judged.
I used to avoid speaking because I was scared of making errors.
Remember, mistakes are a natural part of learning. The more you speak, the more you improve.
I'm working on accepting mistakes as opportunities to learn.
Speaking too fast is also a problem for some learners.
Sometimes I rush and end up jumbling words.
Try slowing down your speech. Speaking clearly and slowly helps others understand you better.
I'll practice speaking slower during conversations and recordings.
Vocabulary limitations cause hesitation and pauses.
I often can't find the right words to express myself.
Build vocabulary related to your common conversation topics. Practice using new words and sentences.
I'll focus on practical vocabulary for daily conversations.
Difficulty understanding native speakers can cause frustration.
Sometimes people speak too fast or use slang. I don't know.
Listen to different accents and informal speech regularly to improve comprehension.
Oh, that's helpful. I'll include slang and idioms in my listening practice.
Nervousness can cause forgetfulness during speaking.
I forget what I want to say when I feel anxious.
Use simple sentences and focus on conveying your message clearly.
Keeping it simple sounds easier and less stressful.
Practice conversation fillers like, "well, no, you know," and "actually" to sound more natural.
Those small words help me buy time to think.
Avoid translating from your native language word for word. Think directly in English.
That's hard, but I'll try to train my brain.
Record yourself to identify and improve problem areas.
Listening to my recordings helps me track progress and weaknesses.
Don't give up. Every speaker faces challenges, but persistence pays off.
Thanks, Ryan. These tips make me feel more prepared to face speaking challenges.
You're doing great. Keep practicing and believe in your progress.
I will. See you next time for the final part of our series.
Part 7. Final tips and encouragement for continuous improvement.
Welcome back, Sophie. Today we're wrapping up our series with some final tips and encouragement to keep improving your English speaking skills.
Hi, Ryan. I've learned so much and feel more confident. What final advice do you have?
First, remember that language learning is a journey, not a race. Keep practicing regularly and be patient with yourself.
I'll remind myself to enjoy the process and not get frustrated with mistakes.
Consistency is the most important factor. Daily speaking practice, even if short, leads to big progress.
I'll make speaking a daily habit from now on.
Use a variety of materials like podcasts, videos, conversations, and reading aloud to keep learning interesting.
Mixing activities keeps me motivated and helps different skills.
Keep setting new, realistic goals. Challenge yourself with more complex topics over time.
I'll gradually try to speak on more difficult subjects to grow.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is a learning opportunity.
I'm learning to embrace mistakes instead of fearing them.
Find speaking partners, tutors, or conversation clubs to practice real conversations regularly.
Speaking with others is the best way to improve fluency and confidence.
Practice pronunciation and accent regularly, but focus mainly on clear communication.
I want to be understood, even if my accent isn't perfect.
Use technology like apps and recording tools to support your practice and track progress.
I'll continue using recording apps and language tools.
Stay positive and celebrate every small success along the way.
Celebrating small wins helps me stay motivated and confident.
Remember, fluency comes from practice, patience, and persistence.
I'm excited to keep improving my speaking skills every day.
Thank you for joining us throughout this series. We hope it helped you on your English speaking journey.
Thank you, Ryan. It was great learning with you.
To all our listeners, keep speaking, keep practicing, and never give up.
Good luck, everyone. Speak confidently and enjoy your English journey.
See you next time on the English Practice Podcast.
Bye, everyone. Keep practicing and stay motivated.